Are here with Larkin Rose and James Freeman. Posted a link to this guy's channel right here. And this guy right here, Larkin, brings up some very interesting points here that I would like to touch on. Do we have the obligation to be victimized? Do we?
Let them do that to you. That is the mindset of a slave. Well, if the master accused you of something and then the overseer is whipping you, you're still not justified in resisting because he's the master and that's the overseer, and you have to just take your lashes like a good slave because you can't raise your hand against the overseer or against the master. Certainly you can't do that, no matter how wrong it is, no matter how nasty and unjustified what they're doing is. You certainly can't lift a finger against the master and his enforcers. If you have that mentality, you are absolutely a slave. You are mentally 100% a slave. So, what's the other option? If you don't have a moral obligation to allow yourself to be illegally victimized, then you kind of would be morally justified in doing whatever it takes to resist being immorally and...
So I would say you have the duty to resist being victimized by the state. You don't just have the right, you have the duty to resist being victimized by the state.
illegally victimized, including escalating the force to a level to resist whatever force they escalate it to. All the way, if he pulls out of a gun, you would be morally justified in shooting him in the fucking head to stop him from illegally...
There was a video that came out a couple months ago or so. This lady called some cops because she thought someone was looking around in her windows. Okay, the cops came. She's the one that called them, right? The cops came to check on the call, and they ended up shooting her. Okay, and when you watch it, the lady says something like, what does she say? She said something about Jesus. She said something about Jesus, and she was cooking on her stove, and a cop just whips out his gun and shoots her dead, and he says, "Oh, I thought she was gonna throw the water on me, the boiling water. She was boiling some water right there. She went to turn the water off." Okay, she called them. Okay, the cop came in there and shot her because he got all prison bitch jumpy because she was cooking.
taking you captive. Would you be justified in doing that? Obviously, this is an uncomfortable question and uncomfortable situation for a lot of people to think about. And again, your brain may very well...
No, I'm pretty comfortable with it.
I'll slide into the, well, I wouldn't do that, I'd do this, and try to sue them later. Didn't ask what you would do, I asked what would be morally justified. Either you are obligated to allow yourself to be immorally and illegally victimized by thugs of the state, or you have the right to resist by force if necessary to make that not happen. Which one is it? And most people get uncomfortable at this line of questioning. But they don't get comfortable at the first line of questioning. Some random guy stops out and said, "Get in my car." Almost everybody would say, well, if I had a gun...
So I will drop this point also, which a lot of people won't agree with, but the activity that cops are involved in on a day-to-day basis is human trafficking. That is exactly the business that cops are in, is human trafficking. Yeah, think about it. They take people against their will off to wherever, and you just hope and trust that you're gonna live through it and you're gonna make it through it. But We're supposed to just let them take us whenever they want to take us for any reason. Just because they thought that they felt justified in taking us. Whether it was or not, it doesn't matter because they have the uniform on.
And he wouldn't stop and he pulled a gun, I'd blow his damn head off. He's trying to kidnap me and I didn't do anything. Of course I would be justified. Most people seem to have no trouble saying that. So imagine the depth of authoritarian indoctrination that most people have rattling around inside their head. When a different scenario where the only difference is that the guy has a badge and uniform, he's still doing something illegal, he's still just committing armed kidnapping without any basis in law.
Another example, okay? You see an old lady on the side of the road getting beat up but by 3 dudes. Is that right or wrong? Okay, same question, but now those 3 dudes have a cop uniform on. Is that right or wrong? So did it change? Did the morality of it... Here we fucking go. Does the inherent morality of a situation change just because some of the participants in that given situation have a costume on, a uniform? Does the morality change?
For morality, if the only difference is he's wearing a costume and suddenly I don't know how to answer the question, think of what that means about your indoctrination.
And we can extrapolate that point out to all kinds of shit. Okay, a person says the word nigga. Is that racist? Or do you have to know what color they are first?
Random guy trying to forcibly kidnap you at gunpoint with no justification. Almost everybody would go, yeah, I'd have the right to do whatever it took to resist that. Oh, the guy's wearing a badge. Uh-oh. Why uh-oh? He's a person in a costume, and in this scenario, doesn't even have the law on his side. He's just a power-happy thug in a costume. Oh, but don't worry, because the cop will say, oh, if you don't like this, there's civil remedies. And they say this. I've seen plenty of videos where they're completely wrongfully arresting somebody and saying, well, there's civil remedies if we weren't supposed to do this. Yeah, there's a different remedy, which is shooting you in the head. Now, it doesn't go well for the person who does that. No.
Well, I mean, ask the lady that called the cops to help her out, and they shot her in the head. Because they got all prison bitch jumpy because she was cooking.
Times out of 10, at least. But again, that's not the question here. Would it be morally justified? Obligated to allow yourself to be abused and illegally victimized, and then later beg them and people who were appointed by the ruling class that sent the thugs to do this to you, beg them to please do something about the fact that their overseer whipped you unfairly. I mean, their law enforcer illegally detained you. So, what are your answers? And way more importantly, do your answers demonstrate that somebody else has a hold of your brain and your perception of reality? And
no one holds my brain but me, god damn it. Alright, that's a good stopping point. He was making some good points right there. I'm going to finish this video, but that's about the points I wanted to make on this issue right here. I am the brightest night, I am the darkest light, and I am ascending. All law is... What do they call that? Fuck. What do they call it? Might equals right. All law is might equals right. Because a a rule and regulation, okay, that word is so misused, okay? A law is something that cannot be broken, yet they go around and call their rules and regulations laws. That is a misuse of the word, y'all. Those aren't actual laws. The only actual laws are the scientific natural laws. But Yeah, so might equals right. And where this becomes most apparent is in prisons, because in those prisons they have their own laws. Okay, and a law is only as powerful as and as far as it has the ability to be enforced by someone. Okay, no will or ability. Fucking cocksucker. Fucking cocksucker. Fucking phone. Where there is no will or ability to enforce a law, rule, or regulation, then that law doesn't exist. So it is completely relative, depending on the perception of those willing to enforce it or not. So is it really a law? No, no. We all make our own laws, y'all. We all empower the laws that we want. And this is the thing that they don't want us to know. This is the thing that they don't want us to be conscious of, the elites. That we have the power to create our own worlds and our own laws. That they don't like that. They like to be the only one with the power to create their own worlds and laws, even though they know that every single one of us have that same power. So what do? They have to convince fellow sentient singularities, co-creators, to relinquish their divine sovereignty, usually through mass Stockholm syndrome and mass psychosis, to lend our power to the state. That is where they get their power from. It is from us. Okay, they are manipulating us into using our power to help prop them up. And all it takes, just like at a concert, you got a motherfucker crowd surfing, right? Because you got the whole crowd carrying them. All it takes is that crowd going, nope, we ain't carrying it no more. Boom, motherfucker gonna drop. That's all it takes, y'all. That's all it takes. Yep. And saying shit like that is why the algorithm don't promote me. But you know what? God damn it. Authentic right here, motherfuckers. What's up? You know, I am the darkest light, and I am ascending, as are we all. Step into Dane's world. The dark light is upon you, motherfuckers. Stay sexy.